Hi guys, welcome to the Overdrive Digital Show. I am Soini Dutt. Eid Mubarak to all our viewers, whether you're watching from YouTube, Facebook or Twitter. Thanks so much for joining us. In a few moments from now, Bert and Rohit will join us to answer all your motoring queries. So do key them in on our comment section using the hashtag AskOD. Remember, good questions will win you an annual subscription to the digital magazine as well. So on to our first story for the day. Volkswagen launched the Tiguan Allspace in India a year ago, and the German car maker has just revealed the facelifted version of this SUV in international markets. So, while there is no news on whether this model will make it down to our shores, let's take a look at what's changed.
Volkswagen has revealed the updated Tiguan Allspace crossover. The Allspace is the 3-row variant of the popular Tiguan, and like its 2-row sibling, the Allspace 2 wears an updated styling that is immediately recognized by the new fascia. It features stylish new headlamps which get a new LED DRL signature. It is highlighted further by a seamless LED strip that runs across the updated grille. The headlights continue with a twin-pot arrangement but get the new IQ adaptive lights comprising of 24 dynamic LEDs that alter their behavior as per the changing lighting conditions around the car. At the rear, the changes are minimal, but the Tiguan badging is now aligned at the center of the tailgate in a spaced lettering format, most like its other SUV siblings from Volkswagen and Skoda. Changes to the cabin include a new touchscreen infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and the Volkswagen V Connect system. The infotainment is mated to a new Harman Kardon audio unit. The dashboard also features touch-type AC controls and a new ambient lighting package. Internationally, the Tiguan Allspace will be offered with a wide array of engine options: a front-wheel drive 150 PS 1.5-litre TSI petrol or an all-wheel drive 2-litre TSI petrol and 190 PS and 245 PS tunes. The diesel choices include a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine that can be had with a 150 PS front-wheel drive configuration or a 200 PS all-wheel drive. All engines are equipped with DSG automatics. The new Tiguan Allspace also features Level 2 automated driving functionality under the IQ Drive Travel Assist package, which features autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian detection, a blind spot monitor, a rear traffic alert, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, etc. Volkswagen introduced the Tiguan Allspace in India last year and has confirmed that the updated 2-row Tiguan will be launched later this year. If these timelines are executed as planned, we expect the updated Tiguan Allspace to arrive to our shores early next year.
Alright, it's time to get Bert and Rohit on the show.
Hi guys, Eid Mubarak to everybody. So it's
Hi
the
Bert, hi
festive
Rohit.
time.
Rohit, you're on mute.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I was saying hello everyone, Eid Mubarak. Hello Bert, hello Sohini. I hope there are some biryani plans happening. I know Anis is preparing biryani. That's why he is missing from the office chat and also from the show. But I hope that you guys also get some biryani this evening. I'm definitely.
You know what? It brings back some very fond memories also because last year, not last year, sorry, 2019, I recollect when we were on the IQD in Ladakh in Leh. And Eid had fallen during that trip. Eid had fallen those days itself, and we had prepared biryani right there in Leh. We had commandeered the hotel. This was we had taken over the hotel kitchen, and then Anis had prepared a biryani for all of us on that particular day. I still remember that, very fond memory. So yeah, Eid Mubarak to everyone out there. Have a fantastic day and do enjoy yourselves, of course, as much as you can, as safely as you can. But also bear in mind that we are going through a crisis right now. And there are a lot of people suffering across the country, and it is our priority to stay as safe as possible, mask up, keep your social distances, maintain those, stay indoors, sanitize, do everything that you can to stay safe and healthy in this time. But there's, coming back again to the news, a lot of action apparently this week, Sohini.
Yes, actually, Bert, you can take us through the first few bits of news until we prepare for people to send us some questions. Just a reminder, if you send us good questions, you can win a free annual subscription to the Overdrive Digital magazine. So you must get busy on our comment section. What news?
All right. So the news this week, of course, dominated by a new launch in the market, and which something that's been waited for a very, very long time. Isuzu's come out with their BS6 versions of the D-Max V-Cross. Now there are several variants within this. There's the manual transmission, automatic transmission as well, and a stripped-down version called the Highlander. Prices begin at 16.98 lakhs, going up to about 24 lakhs for the four-wheel drive 4x4 version. Now. Now, the significant changes, of course, there's the addition of this one, not the addition, but it's the updated version of the 1.9 liter diesel engine, 4-cylinder diesel engine. It was fairly torquey in the previous generation vehicle as well, but its power has been increased by about 13 PS to about 163 PS now. And there's a slight 10 Nm increase in the torque. So it's not much, but 316 Newton meters of torque is good enough for most conditions. Now, one of the fallacies of the D-Max V-Cross, when I used to drive this a couple of years ago, extensively for that matter, was that there was a bit of turbo lag, especially in high altitude regions when you took it off-road or when you wanted to go on a nice adventure using this truck. There's a bit of turbo lag, and I'm waiting to drive this car and see if those issues have been sorted out. Alongside it, the MU-X also has come out. Again, all of these prices are on our website. The MU-X essentially is the same platform as the D-Max on the D-Max, and it's the SUV version, the 7-seater SUV version. Now, lots of interior changes, lots of interior additions for that matter, should I say this. But I want to come back to the crux of the matter, and I'm quite, how do I say it? I'm not very impressed with the pricing at all. I'm actually raging frustratingly mad about the pricing because the Highlander at 16.9 lakhs now, might seem like a decent price, but you really don't get much in that, and it's a two-wheel drive version. And how many would really want a two-wheel drive version in this market? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there are takers for a two-wheel drive version, people who would like to use a truck and get the utilitarian benefits out of it. But for most purposes, all of the vehicles and a majority of owners, from what I recollect, for the previous generation, did take their Isuzu D-Max V-Crosses off-road or rather on an adventure or on a road trip somewhere or the other, and so that made a lot of sense for them having a full four-wheel drive powertrain. Now that does not exist any longer. In the Highlander, though it's the most affordable, 16.9, great pricing, but the utility of that four-wheel drive system, but four-wheel drive powertrain is no longer there. So I'm not sure how exciting or how awesome is this vehicle going to be in all conditions for that matter. Can you take it on board for an adventure? I don't think so. Which brings me to the 4x2 version, which is the manual transmission, which is about 20 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Now, these are all Chennai prices, keep that in mind. And prices differ in various places. Mumbai, for instance, the Highlander is about 50,000 to 60,000 more expensive than what Isuzu has announced. And 16.9, it goes to about 17.6 or 17.7 in Mumbai ex-showroom. But 20 lakhs for the 4x2 version of the D-Max, that's also fairly expensive. By the time you get it on road, it will be almost 24 lakhs. Would you spend 24 lakhs on a truck at that in that segment? It may be the only one available, definitely refined, definitely good in comfort and utility, but 24 lakhs is a fair amount to be asking for it. Even 24 lakhs ex showroom for the 4x4 automatic is a fairly expensive sticker price. I'm not entirely sure how many people are going to buy the D-Max any longer, and if it really will have a strong market henceforth. I'm a bit disappointed. To say I'm a bit disappointed would be an understatement. I'm significantly disappointed, and I was hoping that just the BS6 upgrade wouldn't warranty such a high price hike. Let's hope Isuzu sees sense and is able to drop prices in the near future. Let's also hope some of the factors that lead them up to pricing these SUVs as high as they are right now drops down a bit, especially input costs, cost for steel, and various other factors as well. But that's it from Isuzu.
But before we Before we go ahead, we have a question from Apurv. He wants to know, has Isuzu increased their prices because they see big demand for their vehicles?
Well, there isn't a big demand for their vehicles. Let's be very clear about this. First of all, there are issues with registrations for these vehicles because it still comes under the pickup segment, even though it's a lifestyle pickup. So registration of this is a bit of a concern. You can't really register them easily in urban areas. So that is a challenge. Now, however, with BS6, I'm not sure what the regulations will entail and whether it will allow them or rather give people the flexibility of registering their vehicles inside metropolitan regions for that matter. Most of the owners who were there registered their vehicles outside metropolitan regions in earlier cases, but now I'm assuming with the BS6 upgrades, you may be able to. I may be wrong, but we will come back to you with a little more information on this. But they're definitely not going to sell a lot more D-Maxes. They may do well with the 4x2 version, the Highlander, but then it's a stripped down version again with fewer features on the insides, and I'm not sure how customers would really take to that. Never mind the previous generation Isuzu D-Maxes, even at the base end, had a tremendous amount of features inside, at least everything that you would ever need, and there was nothing really to complain about. We're looking for a vehicle that's utility more than anything else. So you don't require high-end features, you don't require high-end luxury. A good air conditioning system, a good sound system, power windows, and they're more or less sorted with the rest and with the vehicle. So I don't see there's a lot of demand for high-end and luxury features of this. So will they really go up in numbers? I'm not confident of that at all.
And but Electron Vlogs wants to know, do Isuzu products have resale value?
Actually, not Electron Vlogs. Isuzu products don't have a very high resale value. But having said that, because the price of the existing D-Max has gone up and the V-Cross has gone up as it has, I assume a lot of people who are willing to sell their D-Max V-Cross, the previous generation ones, will also now hike up the prices a lot more, because anyone wanting to buy V-Cross would look into the second-hand market. So demand over there might increase, and that might also bump up the rates for used V-Cross pickup trucks.
And but the one last question, Denim wants to know, why didn't they bring the updated face for the Isuzu?
Because that's just been released globally, for that matter. The one that they had already laid out in the pipeline, now those plans can't be deferred or can't be changed. The upgraded or rather the refreshed look, which is not a significant refresh for that matter. Again, it's a very, very minor refresh. Doesn't look significantly different from the existing D-Max. And that will, of course, probably come out sometime next year, I would say, or end of 2022 is what I expect it to be out of the market if everything goes well. But again, Isuzu as a company is fairly slow on the rebound, and I'm not sure how quickly they'll be able to respond to the market situation and demand if it arises at all. Okay, interesting. That's another comment over here from Cool to Cool. I love my truck, super solid, and if Creta can sell it 19 lakhs, then why not this beast? Very good point that you made here, Cool to Cool. If Creta can sell at 19 lakhs, not even 19 lakhs, Creta goes all the way up to almost 23, 24 lakhs on road by the time, and it doesn't have the four-wheel drive powertrain. But what you have to bear in mind over here is that this is a very utilitarian pickup truck. This is not something that you would enjoy with your family. It doesn't have the kind of luxury and comfort that the Creta has to offer. The Creta's purpose is entirely different. It's a very urban SUV. You can't really take it outdoors anywhere on an adventure. Now, would you be willing to pay the premium for what you're getting in the D-Max? I don't believe people would look at that. They definitely got a lot of value when the prices were much lower. And I thought it was a tremendous bargain. It was an absolute steal. Anyone who's bought that has really enjoyed the D-Max, the V-Cross at the price. But hiking it up right now doesn't really justify, because you're not getting anything significantly better. You're paying a premium of almost about 4 lakh rupees just for a BS6 upgrade, which makes it fairly steep just for that upgrade. Apart from that, the kind of features that are there, like I mentioned earlier also, are nothing great to talk about. So I'm not entirely confident if Isuzu will be able to do as well as they've done previously. But let's see. I could be wrong also. Maybe there are people out there who appreciate the fact that it's gotten more expensive and would buy it in larger numbers. I see several questions coming up on the D-Max, Sohini.
Yeah. Yeah, there are actually, here's one from Vipin. In India, only previous generation, why this discrimination? He says, I buy only Hilux, new generation, also high price, band lesser engine power.
Vipin, I'm not sure if you bought the previous D-Max V-Cross. Did you purchase that in the first place? Then let's talk about you buying the Hilux. But yes, the Hilux would also have probably made a lot more sense for the Indian for people who wanted to buy that kind of a product in India. Toyota could definitely have worked on the pricing and offer it, because again, same platform as the Innova and the Fortuner. Nothing different over there. So Toyota could have done well to have brought the Hilux as well and offer it as just a niche segment, product. Indestructible vehicle. We know that the build quality is just phenomenal. It would definitely be a lot more refined and nicer to drive than the V-Cross for that matter. And of course, then there's Toyota reliability, there's the Toyota network around the country. So ownership costs also for the Hilux would be fairly good. So yeah, I mean, if the Hilux was here, it'd be a great buy as well. And I'm hoping at some point Toyota sees the light of day and does offer the Hilux in India. But yeah, unfortunately, the D-Max still last generation vehicle.
And Vinayak says, what with this upgrade, they could have made it more desirable in terms of equipment and price. Would have been an addition in the consideration set for a person considering the Thar.
Kind of. They are still, both the Thar and the D-Max V-Cross are kind of very different vehicles, because both have different utilities. Thar is they're both lifestyle vehicles, but the Thar is for just probably two people and not more than that. Very compact families, or just an individual who wants that kind of style, that kind of ability, wants that refinement that now offers, the power and torque that it offers. The D-Max, keep in mind, with that flatbed that you got at the back, there is a lot more utilitarian uses for that. You can put a motorcycle onto it, drive down to some high grade location, and then go riding around while you've camped somewhere. You can put in a lot of stuff. You can load in a lot of stuff into that. You can still carry 4 people with a lot of comfort. That hasn't changed. That cabin is very, very spacious. So the value that Isuzu offers with the V-Cross is certainly higher than what the Thar offers. But having said that, you would also look at the Thar and say almost 16 lakhs for the Thar as well. And the Thar is definitely then overpriced also. And I've said this in the past, the Thar is overpriced. It is expensive. They're doing very well. And maybe Isuzu can buck the trend and probably do well as well with the V-Cross. I certainly can't afford one, and I was definitely looking to buy one.
But Sahil is very upset. He says, why double standards for India? Manufacturers seem to launch newer generations in international markets and old ones in India.
Not at all, Sahil. Manufacturers do not have double standards. Just keep in mind, we are as, I would say, contemporary in terms of launches compared to anywhere else in the world. The fact of the matter is that we don't get all the products that manufacturers launch elsewhere in the world. So yes, European considerations, European requirements are very different. They've got a fairly, their buying values are very different from what we have here in India. For us, we are a price-conscious market. We're not willing to pay the high prices that some of these cars would command. Just as an example, Volkswagen was considering to launch the Golf here in India. But getting the Golf down to India would mean pricing for a hatchback that go up to about 20 lakh rupees. Now, how many people would in India would actually buy a Golf at 20 lakh rupees? But the Golf sells extremely well in Europe. The various iterations of it, and all of them do extremely well. But here in India, there just isn't a market for those kind of products. So most manufacturers analyze what the market requirement is and cater specifically to that as well. It just doesn't make good business sense to offer everything and not be able to sell anything at all. There are, classic examples. The T-Roc from Volkswagen, another example. Great product at the end of the day. Good product, good looking, great ride quality, good performance, and quite funky looking as well. Stylish, I'd say. But only 500 numbers, and they struggled to sell those 500 units as well. So they've had a big challenge trying to push all those 500 units out of the market. So these kind of challenges exist for manufacturers. So it's not that they don't offer the most contemporary technology or the most contemporary cars that are there in India. Look at Mercedes-Benz. I mean, everything that's there globally is here in India as well. We've down to the fact that they're also manufacturing AMG products here in India, which no other market in the world does. You don't need more proof than that.
All right, guys, keep your questions coming. But I think we should take a look at the Mercedes-Benz EQT Concept.
Well, yes, let's take a look at the Mercedes-Benz EQT. Now, this is a 5 to 7 seater MPV. It's an EV, and this is one of the new products that will come out very shortly into the market. Will go up for commercial launch in some time. Now, this is based on the sedan, which is the smallest van or the MPV in Mercedes-Benz's lineup. Then there's a T-Class, and of course now the electric EQT. High-end luxury, proper premium class MPV for that matter. Quite a stylish looking thing. Also very interesting take. That same grille we've seen on some of their other products as well, which is of course now I think getting to be more symbolic of what Mercedes-Benz is doing with their electric range of vehicles. But as you can see out here, quite nice looking MPV, very stylish, very spacious as well. It's got this 44 kilowatt hour battery with about 102 PS from the electric motor. Driving range again 265 kilometers. This is WLTP standards, which is not very high. That could be a bit of a challenge given the conditions. If this MPV ever comes down to India, as we're offered in India sometime in the future, which I think will be about 2 years from now, or 3 years from now, once it goes on to commercial sale. But 265 kilometers is not very high for this. But keep in mind, this looks like a fairly heavy MPV. Mercedes-Benz would have done everything to lighten the curb weight, but still, it will, the kind of weight, the kind of girth that it occupies, it will take its toll on the battery pack, and of course, the range will diminish because of that. But yeah, on the whole, a fairly stylish vehicle. And just one more in the entire E range or the EQ range that Mercedes-Benz is offering globally.
All right, I'll just go through the other bits of news. Owing to the COVID-19 lockdowns in force across states, a few manufacturers will extend free services and warranty periods in the country for customers. For starters, Toyota announced the Customer Connect Program 2.0, under which customers will get an extension on their vehicle's warranty, free services and prepaid service packages. However, if these products are lapsed, the validity extension will be up to 1 month in places where lockdowns or movement restrictions are imposed. Tata Motors has announced it will extend the warranty and free service periods, not kilometer, that are due to expire between April 1st and May 31st, 2021 to June 30th, 2021 for all eligible customers. Maruti Suzuki will extend both the standard and extended warranty and free service for its customers till June 30th. This is valid for customers whose warranty and service expires between March 15th and May 31st. In other news, Volkswagen has partially revealed what the 7th generation Polo GTI will look like in a sketch. From the sketch, the first noticeable bit is the LED strip dominating its front, which will be offered as standard, and the rear will also house a redesigned tailgate with Volkswagen's new IQ Light technology. The company stated that the new Polo will have multiple driver assistance features besides a new MIB3 infotainment system. Volkswagen's optional driver assistance systems include travel assist and level 2 semi-autonomous driving features. The engine specifications will be confirmed in June when the car launches internationally, though we're not yet sure if Volkswagen India thinks it's time to bring this facelifted Polo GTI to India. Over to you, Rohit, for the motorcycle news.
Right. Thank you, Sohini. So I think we'll begin with the LiveWire, the Harley-Davidson LiveWire. So we all know of this LiveWire motorcycle. It created a big splash sometime back. It was their first electric vehicle, and then Evan McGregor again went road tripping with it with his buddy, and again created news. If you haven't watched that show, it's up on Apple TV. But the main reason why this name is back in the news is because LiveWire is now going to be a separate brand. They are going to spin it off as a separate brand for Harley-Davidson. It will essentially, what the name suggests, it will be all electric vehicles. So it's something similar to what we saw with Audi going and doing with the e-tron, where the e-tron is the first all-electric Audi, and now that e-tron will become for most electrified Audis that will come out. So something similar is a strategy that Harley will follow as well, where LiveWire is going to be a separate brand. The first electric vehicle was called the LiveWire itself, but now there'll be an entire lineup of electric two-wheelers that will come out from this particular brand. And why I'm not saying electric motorcycles per se is because they are saying that the first vehicle is going to be unveiled on the 8th, the coming 8th, and we don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be a motorcycle? Is it some sort of a two-wheeler that's just an urban runabout? We don't know yet, because the press release when Harley-Davidson sent it out about this LiveWire being a different brand kept harping on the word an urban two-wheeler, urban solution. So we don't know if it's going to be a motorcycle. Is it going to be some sort of a light electric vehicle for the urban runabout? So we don't know. We'll know on the 8th. But what we do know is that there will be an entire lineup of LiveWires that will come out with different names, of course. And Harley-Davidson and LiveWire will exchange technologies, will share technologies, so that both the brands benefit from these technologies for their core vehicles. But LiveWire is essentially going to be pure electric. So how is Harley-Davidson going to benefit from it? How is LiveWire going to from technologies that Harley-Davidson is developing remains to be seen, but there will be a lot of technology sharing. But Harley-Davidson also says that LiveWire will bring to the table a lot of innovations. It will not be just another electric brand, and that is something that remains to be seen. So as far as dealerships go, this is obviously for the United States as at the moment, where LiveWire will have its own set of dealerships. These will be dealerships that will be, the logistics of it or the overall operations of it will be taken care of by certain existing Harley-Davidson dealerships. They will be participating in this LiveWire program, so to say. But how things will happen, globally, how things will happen in India still remains to be seen, because if you remember, when the LiveWire originally came out, the big concern for Harley-Davidson was the price tag for the Indian market or developing markets like ours, where it would not have probably made a lot of sense, probably didn't have found a lot of takers. In fact, we're talking about a similar price band as the Isuzu D-Max that we were just talking about. So you don't know if the LiveWire lineup makes any sense for India at the moment. But let's hope that Davidson thinks about developing markets as well. But yes, it is going to start off with separate dealerships in the United States, the first dealership being in California. There's going to be no physical headquarters for LiveWire. It's going to be a virtual headquarter for the most of the operations will be taken care of in California itself. They'll be looking at the Silicon Valley, not at Milwaukee as the rest of Harley-Davidson. So that is a clear message out saying that they will do things a different way for LiveWire. They will essentially do things that are tailor-made for LiveWire. They will have physical as well as virtual showrooms for the LiveWire. So there's a lot that's going to be happening. It probably justifies why LiveWire business, and that is why it's now a different brand within Harley-Davidson. Moving on, producer, if we can have the visuals for the next bit of news. We have the Ducati V4 and the V4S, which have been officially launched in the Indian market now. In fact, on the show, we told you a couple of weeks back that they had opened the bookings, and now the bike is actually here. We're expecting the motorcycle to arrive in July, but it's already here. The price for the V4 starts at 20 lakh rupees. The V4S goes up to 23 lakh rupees. And the color that you see on the screen is what you get for 23. That's the red color. But if you want the black color, that's additional 20,000 rupees. And it's only available in the V4S, is what I gather from the release so far. Both the motorcycles get the same engine, and it puts out a massive 208 PS of power. So if you need that crazy naked motorcycle that does over 200 PS and over 300 kilometers an hour, well, this is one of the options that you can look at. The other being the ZH2, of course. Now, you look at the styling, essentially it follows the same kind of design theme that we've seen on the Panigale. It looks like a more stripped down version of the Panigale, but I mean, it is right now one of the sickest looking naked street bikes out there, is what I feel. We have motorcycles like the ZH2, like I mentioned, but I don't think anything looks as sick as this particular motorcycle right now. And yes, that also includes the KTMs. So this is what the V4 and V4S are all. They're already out in the market. We hope to ride them soon, but as of now, all dealerships for Ducati are not operational. In fact, we just had a word with Ducati, and especially their dealerships in Delhi and Pune are not functional at the moment, but you can still go ahead and put a booking down for this motorcycle if you like. They are still accepting bookings online and through the phone. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you can go ahead and do it right away if you like. Well, the third bit of news is Aprilia. The 125 SXR is now on sale. Again, some of the dealerships are still not functional. So if you did not book it when the pre-bookings opened up, you can still go ahead and book yourself the 125cc maxi scooter at a price of 5,000 rupees. The price for this motorcycle is 1,15,000, which is about 9,000 rupees cheaper than the SXR 160 that it's based on. Now, I think the SXR 160 for that smaller price gap would make a lot more sense for the kind of form factor this is. This is a maxi scooter after all, so you might as well get a little bit more power and get yourself the 160. But for whatever reason, if you still want to settle for the 125, all that you're missing out on is the additional displacement from the engine, because in terms of the bodywork, in terms of the wheels, in terms of the features, the digital instrumentation, the Bluetooth connectivity, all of that is there. It's common between the two scooters. The only thing that is different is actually the engine. So what you get in the SXR 125 is a 9.5 PS of power, 9 Newton meters of torque thereabouts. And yeah, that's the only thing, like I said, that is different between the two scooters. It's just the lesser displacement that you're getting with the SXR 125. But it should be a nice, comfortable maxi scooter. So if you are looking to get yourself one, like I said, some dealerships are not operational, but you can book your scooter for 5,000 rupees. Well, that's it. I think that we have from the motorcycle world right now. Sohini, back to you, and we can take any questions that we may have got about any of these vehicles.
All right, Bert, we have two questions from Akash Rana. One is, it's being said that CAFE 2 norms will kill the diesel engine, but how will it impact the petrol engine vehicles of the country, and what kind of price shift will that result to?
Well, yes, CAFE norms will get more and more stricter, and it will affect diesel sales also, for that matter. Basically, emission standards are getting stricter and stricter by the day, and that's why we are also having to move towards EVs. Because there will come a time when there will not be a single manufacturer who will be able to meet the emission standards that have been prescribed, and yet offer affordable cars. Technology will just get so expensive that you will not be able to afford to own an IC engine vehicle any longer. Manufacturers will not be able to make them, develop them, and definitely not sell them, and you won't be able to buy those. But the first to take a hit will be diesel powertrains, and then of course petrols will follow as well very shortly. Keep in mind, even today, diesel vehicles are as expensive as they are, and that that couple of lakhs hike over what they used to be previously is because of certain cases where they have to add in DPFs and various other emission control methods, to reduce what comes out of your tailpipe. Now, this affects diesels more often than it affects petrols. Petrols still are a little cleaner than what diesels are, and it's a little more manageable. Managing emissions from petrol engine, you can still do that fairly simply than what you would have to do in a diesel. And the only way forward is, of course, going to be to EVs at some point in time.
All right. His second question, Bert, is that EVs are being touted as environment friendly, but what kind of impact study has been done for end of life cycle disposal of these battery packs? Battery disposal is nasty business usually.
Absolutely, Akash. Battery disposal is very nasty business, because batteries don't deteriorate; they degrade, and as they degrade, it's like any radioactive device or radioactive substance, where the degradation becomes more hazardous than beneficial. But having said that, the end of life for batteries is a very, very long time. Now, over a decade ago, on a trip to Europe, I have seen facilities at Renault where they already were very, very intimately involved with end of life or other recycled batteries and what they were doing with the EV batteries. They're already, keep in mind, Renault's EV plans or other EV program has started off more than a decade ago. They were already products that they had launched by then in European markets and other places. And some of those vehicles had already come back with certain battery issues, and of course, batteries had to be replaced and swapped. And they were already there. They were already experimenting. They were already analyzing. They were already studying what should be done with them. And there were lots of things that they were actually doing at that point with those batteries. And most manufacturers have already employed all of these strategies. All of these plans are already in place, and they're already working towards what can be done with the vehicle batteries post their usage. Once the vehicle batteries are useless in an electric vehicle, they've already considered and put those plans into practice. But yeah, battery disposal is a nasty business. There are impact studies being done for end of life cycle disposal. But yes, it's going to be a burning question for a long time to come. We are not entirely sure. No one's really got a very conclusive answer as to how this problem can be addressed.
All right, here's a question from Dilip Kumar. He wants to know, is Mahindra going to bring the updated Alturas G4 to India? Also, he'd like to know what's the reason behind renaming the XUV 500 to XUV 700.
I mean, XUV 500 was good, right? What's the reason we are increasing it? Well, that's also because the 700, it's now the 500 will be the 700 because again, the 500, the next generation 500 is longer, wider, larger. And because it occupies a larger footprint, I think it's one of the reasons why they wanted to go with the 700 nomenclature rather than just the 500, because not only is it a new platform, it's larger, bigger, better in every way than the XUV 500. So yeah, why not 700? Matlab 200 gram और आपको दे दिया XUV के अंदर. I guess that's one of the reasonings behind it. But are they going to bring the updated Alturas G4 to India? Not anytime soon. Right now, the focus is going to be on the EV plans. Of course, the 500, the XUV 700, 300. Then they've got the EVs as well. Those will be out, and then there'll be a lot more focus on the EV programs rather than getting something like the Alturas G4 to India. It really doesn't make any sense. Won't fit into their scheme of things.
Rohit, here's a question from PS Rohit. Do you expect KTM to bring their big adventure range to India anytime soon in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, Rohit, I'm not very sure, what is cooking at KTM right now, because their plans just seem to be on and off when it comes to the bigger motorcycles. I know for a fact that they had been conducting some customer clinics for these bigger motorcycles. The 790 Adventure was on the cards, not the 890, the 790, because the production of that motorcycle is still on in China, and they were sort of exploring the opportunity of bringing that motorcycle down to the country. But with our relations with China being in a bit of a tussle, there needs to be some sort of clarity on whether the government will allow business to happen with China smoothly or not. With all that kind of uncertainty, I think it's again dampened their plans, because obviously there are not big numbers expected for these motorcycles compared to the kind of numbers that they're doing for the 390s. But we've also heard that the 490 production could be the 490 platform production could be shifted to China and not India. And the earlier plan was to be to make it out of India and then export it to the other markets like they did with the 390 platform. But now there is word that the 490 platform could actually be shifted to China. So this kind of uncertainty is constantly prevailing at KTM at the moment. So I'm not sure whether they want to bring in the bigger adventure motorcycles or bigger motorcycles for that matter, because again, remember, the 790 Duke did not do too well. They had a tough time trying to get rid of the stocks that they had before the BS4 to BS6 transition happened. So that again was a bit of a dampener for all their plans. So I'm not very sure if they will be bringing in the bigger motorcycles, or they would be just concentrating on the smaller motorcycles that they already have in the market.
All right, but here's a question from Shashank. He wants to know why Toyota is not giving sunroof to all of its cars except the Camry.
The Land Cruiser and the Camry.
Land Cruiser, yeah.
Okay, Shashank, if you could point out to me what is the benefit of offering a sunroof, then I will try and convince Toyota to offer it in all of their products. How's that for a deal?
All right, but here's a question from Once more, we'll take Electron Vlogs question. He wants to know, when will Mahindra introduce an XUV 900 Coupe? Will
Mahindra introduce the 900 Coupe? They've got a few products lined up. There's a lot of speculation going around about the Coupe coming out, the Coupe version coming out, which they showcased, of course, at Auto Expo. But hideous looking thing, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, if they believe there is a market for it, they will definitely come out of that vehicle. When, like I said, immediate plans are, of course, through the 700, then the 300, the new 300, and the range of electric, the two electric vehicles also they're looking at by the end of this year. And once all of that is down, and production, of course, is streamlined and seamless, is when I think we will see the next range of products coming out from Mahindra. Keep in mind, Mahindra is also facing a major shortfall, like all the other manufacturers of semiconductors. It's affecting production, it's affecting deliveries, and it doesn't really bode well for business as well as for customer satisfaction. So I think that things will be a little slower here on, at least for the next year and a half.
Rohit Saurabh wants to know, is it worth going in for the Ducati Streetfighter, or should he wait for the 2021 Triumph Speed Triple, which seems to be more comfortable and usable?
Well, I'm not sure if I would agree with you with the Speed Triple being more comfortable or usable. I'm not sure. I'll not agree or disagree with you, because I would want to ride both the motorcycles to really know if the Street Triple is not a usable or a practical motorcycle. But yeah, liter class naked bikes are pointless. Anything above maybe a 600 650cc naked is just pointless, because beyond 130 kilometers an hour, 140 kilometers an hour, you can't really enjoy these motorcycles much. There's too much wind blast that you're constantly battling. Maybe an adventure motorcycle with a larger engine could make sense, or if you just want the thrill of speed, I think a super sport with a good suspension setup and a rightly set up suspension would be a lot more enjoyable, because at least you can experience that kind of speed. You can take it to the track every now and then and experience and have fun on the track as well. But these kind of big liter class nakeds to me just don't make any sense. Would you still want to wait for the speed? I don't know, because if you're purely buying this motorcycle for brag rights, because that is what I think these bikes are all about and not really the fun, then I think the Street Fighter has a lot more brag rights. It's over 200 PS of power, 208 PS to be exact. It performs wildly like the Pani Gale would. It's got a V4 engine, so it has its own sound character, so to say. But yeah, if you don't think that that's what you want the sound of a triple, you're okay with 180 PS, and you think that the Speed Triple is a little bit more usable, then yeah, might as well wait. I'm sure that Triumph India would bring the motorcycle to the Indian market in a few months from now. So you could wait for that.
All right, we have a question here from Rahmat Mustafa. He wants to know, when could India get a sub 5 to 7 lakh rupee electric hatchback?
Well, Rahmat, that day is not too far away. There definitely could be a sub 5 to 7 lakh electric hatchback at some point in the future. Maruti, for instance, or perhaps Hyundai also will certainly offer something of this sort, because there is a segment that exists, and IC engines will have to be made redundant entirely. And those will have to be replaced with, more affordable electric hatchbacks, or cars for that matter, sub 4 meter hatchbacks, sedans and hatchbacks. Now, will it come under the 5 to 7 lakh bracket? Possibly, yes, as well. We've got products that are there in the market under that bracket as well. So yes, it's safe to say that the EVs would come in here. Now, why are they not coming over here? Because input costs are still fairly high for EVs, and making a car or making a product below that 5 to 7 lakh rupees in the EV segment is still an expensive proposition. The margins aren't high. And you need scale over here as well. Once the scale, or at least some amount of scale comes in, some amount of demand comes in, and certain technological costs drop down, yes, we will get a more affordable electric vehicle. Keep in mind, Tata Nexon, the day isn't far away. It's quite close.
Our next question here is from Suraj. Why are manufacturers not adopting solid-state batteries in place of lithium-ion?
Well, Suraj, solid-state batteries were already in consideration, and work has been going on solid-state batteries instead of lithium-ion for quite some time. Again, they're more energy dense, and more reliable for that matter, and work was going on. But the investments that were involved in lithium ion initially were so high that it doesn't just make sense to move to solid state batteries instantly. So it's coming in. It will come in slowly. They are gaining more acceptance. That technology is coming into EVs for that matter. But it will take some. It will take some time as of yet.
We have a question here from Aniket Mishra. Does it make sense to wait for Kushaq or MG Aster, or go for the Seltos? MG would come with great value for money. Tag either.
Don't you want to take that?
Sure. So, as far as I know, is essentially the petrol variant of the ZS EV. The ZS EV is priced rather well, so that just makes us hope that the Aster will be priced quite well as well. And knowing where the MG Hector currently resides, the Aster is expected to come at a cheaper price tag than that. But you never know. They might spin it off as a more premium product with some more premium features. At the end of the day, it is going to compete with the cars like the Kushaq that you've mentioned, and also the segment leaders like the Seltos and the Creta. Now, should you wait for it? I don't know, because most of you guys just keep blaming us that we always ask you to wait for newer products that are on the horizon. So I'll not say wait for it. But from what we see of the Kushaq, from what we've heard of the Kushaq, I think the Kushaq is going to be an excellent product. So I think it's going to boil down to what you like in terms of the design, what you like in terms of the size. Do you want the Aster, which is expected to be a little bit larger than the Kushaq, but I may be wrong. We don't have the actual dimensions of either cars right now. I mean, it's easy to get the dimensions online for the Aster. Just look up the ZS petrol and you will be able to get the dimensions, but I'm expecting it to be slightly larger than the Kushaq. But the Kushaq has that edgy styling. The Kushaq will have the typical Volkswagen or Skoda build quality. So if you want all of those things, going in for the Kushaq wouldn't make for a bad decision. But at the end of the day, the Aster is again going to be a well-built product. We've seen that with the ZS EV. In fact, some of the products, some of the components are lifted from the Volkswagen parts bin. We've seen that in the door handles, in some of the switch gear. So yeah, in terms of the feel, it might just come very close to what the Kushaq is. So if you want to wait and watch, see where the Aster comes out, what price point it comes out at, and maybe then make a buying decision, you could do that. But if I had to go out and buy something, I think I would right now go in for the Kushaq, because I think it looks quite good. Like I said, from what I've seen, or the overall paint quality, the kind of features that they have on offer, and the kind of overall build quality that they have, I think the Kushaq just makes a nice statement. It is a nice extension of what what I would want my car to be, and I would probably go with the Kushaq as of now.
Alright, here's a good question from Nitesh. He wants to know what is the
for Mayur Shah before that. Mayur Shah and for Simran Rastogi. Guys, get a room and you can have a conversation over there.
No, I think we have to appreciate that Simran is doing a great job.
No,
And at least replying to the other questions.
Room and you can carry on this conversation in there. But because this conversation is taking over our entire chat box on YouTube, all I see are comments by Mayur Shah and Simran Rastogi in this conversation happening there.
But guys, you must know that if we are unable to answer all your questions, Simran, Rastogi and Tuhin Guha are answering all your questions on the side as well. So but we will not miss them about it.
Thank you for the questions. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Alright, we have a question here from Nitesh. He says, what is the Mahindra fascination with SUVs and MPVs? They have a great engine lineup in both petrol and diesel. A hatchback and a sedan might shake things up in the market.
Well, Nitesh, not necessarily. Why do you think a hatchback or a sedan would shake things up for them in the market? Because they're traditionally SUV manufacturers. They know the SUV market extremely well. They know the SUV products extremely well. They've done this for decades and decades and decades. Would you just kind of, yes, at some point in time, you would want to add a sedan or a hatchback to your lineup. But let's look at another classic example from Jeep, for instance. They have traditionally been a SUV manufacturer. They have dabbled, tried, but never really gone to the hatchback or the sedan segment. But they have stayed a SUV brand, and they're doing extremely well. And when I say extremely well, they're doing really, really well globally, for that matter, as well, with their product. Whether it's the Wrangler, whether it's the Grand Cherokee, whether it's the Renegade, whatever it is, they're doing extremely well with their products. And they haven't diverted and they haven't diverted from that path at all. So I don't see why Mahindra needs to step into the hatchback and the sedan space. I think it's an absolute waste of time. focus on getting your SUVs right, focus on making your SUVs better, more contemporary, better quality, better power and performance, better efficiency. I think they've got a fairly good business. Keep in mind, Mahindra's numbers are strong, almost as strong as some of the bigger players who've got larger portfolios for that matter, or even some of the traditional car, sedan and hatchback makers, like we know them. So yes, I mean, Mahindra has got a good thing going. I think they should continue to focus on the SUV segment itself and proceed to their business with just SUVs. I really don't see why a sedan or a hatchback is necessary in their entire portfolio. Keep in mind, Ferrari even today has not made an SUV, even though Lamborghini has. It might come in someday, but we're not sure about that as well. But they have stuck to their guns. And that's what sets them apart.
But Rohit, I have this question as well. I want to know what you have to say. Sahil wants to know, can we expect drag races from Overdrive?
No, Sahil, that's not something that we're going to do. I mean, silly drag races, trying to figure out which car of all sorts, and not really apples to apples comparisons are not something that we do. You're anyway seeing them on another channel. I know where you're coming from, but I mean, too many people doing the same thing is not really going to give. There really isn't an educated opinion to give in those from those drag races. There's a lot of great viewing pleasure. Enjoy them for what they are. Whoever's doing those, just view them, have fun. But there really isn't much to take away from those videos and those stories.
All right, I'm just trying to go through. All right, here's one from. No, sorry.
There, Simran's got this. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Well, it is burning already. So, yeah, there you go, Simran.
All right, we have one from Manas Kumar. Rohit, is it good to wait for the KTM 490 family of motorcycles, especially adventure variant?
Okay, Manas, again, like I just said, like I just replied to someone else, I'll not really recommend waiting, because that could be a long wait for every new vehicle that's coming, because one vehicle comes, then there's another one coming, then there's another one coming. But since you're so specific here about the vehicle that you're asking me about, yes, there is a 490 Adventure coming. There's a 490 family coming, in fact, from KTM. But like I just replied to someone else, KTM is right now on the fence on whether they should manufacture this platform in India or move the entire manufacturing process to China. That's where they're doing the 790s as of now. In fact, there's a cheaper variation of the 790 family that is also in the works, is what I hear, and they could simply move the 490 family there as well. But of course, that doesn't answer your question. So let me do that. When the 490 family finally arrives, whether or not it's made in India, the first motorcycle that will come out will be the Duke, followed by the RC, and then the Adventure. So you're looking at a fairly long timeline. In fact, this has been confirmed to us by KTM that the 490 Adventure is not even in the works at the moment. Of course, it's being considered when the platform is being developed. Of course, it's a part of the design process when the platform is being developed. But that is going to be the third variant on that platform, and it will take its own sweet time to come. Right now, the 390 Adventure is what they're concentrating on. They will let the 390 Adventure breathe and live for some time, because again, look at it from this point of view. If they immediately bring in a 490 Adventure and the 390 were to discontinue, if it doesn't coexist in the market, it's going to be in the market for a fairly short period of time, and then it doesn't make business sense at all, because they'll have to keep manufacturing spare parts for it as well. So we don't know if these bikes are going to coexist with the 490 platform when that platform comes out. So all that is still a gray area. But whether or not it coexists, the 490 Adventure is the last motorcycle that will be developed on that particular platform. So it will take a while. It's not going to come in 6 months or 8 months or 18 months. It could be way longer than that as well. So whether you want to wait all that while or just get your motorcycle right now and start enjoying, the bike is something that you have to decide. The 390 Adventure is a perfectly good motorcycle, gets a very nice kit. So you could go in for that right now and maybe upgrade to a 650 later when the 450s actually come out. Your call.
All right, here's a question from Suraj. He says he's heard that Great Wall Motors will use CKD CBU route for India. Is it true?
Well, Suraj, yes, there is some news again of Great Wall Motors resuming, their intentions for India. Keep in mind, given the kind of sentiment that, again, the anti-Chinese sentiment that existed in the country last year and was growing stronger, as well as COVID, as the whole pandemic reached on, the plans were significantly derailed, and things had come to a grinding halt. But now, of course, they're again back again in the market. They're again looking for people. They're looking for office spaces. They're effectively setting a plan in motion. Excuse me. And part of the plan, of course, will be the SUV and of course the electric car as well that they had showcased at the Auto Expo. But from the get-go itself, these two products were anyways taking the CKD and the CBU route into the country. Production was not going to happen for these products, at least not until the production facility was put into place. And later products would come in through manufacturing. But the way they wanted to go about their plans was a top-down approach, which means more premium and expensive cars coming into the market first as imports, and then slowly as production facilities are prepared and kept and readied, the cars would be made here in India itself. But yes, the CKD and CBE route is what they will adopt for sure.
Rohit, what's brewing at Yamaha India, honestly? Kiran says, if I remember, they boldly claimed about focusing on premium motorcycles 3 years ago. Why are they blindsiding enthusiasts constantly?
Well, Kiran, I'll not say that they're, blindsiding you or giving you a cold shoulder. It's just that Yamaha and VD seem to have a different definition for the word premium motorcycles. Now, like I said earlier on the Overdrive Digital Show as well, not today, but a few weeks earlier, we had a conversation with Yamaha, and they clearly told us for them, premium motorcycles is essentially the 150 to 250cc category, and that's the category that they are going to be concentrating on. So you already have the FZ25 that has come in the updated avatar. There will be a new variant that will be added to its 150cc lineup as well. So even that is coming very soon. There is word of an MT25 as well that is happening. So yeah, they're concentrating purely on that 150 to 250cc space. They don't want to think about anything higher at the moment, at least till the pandemic is still around, at least till business remains challenging. They just want to concentrate purely on this 150cc and 250cc category as far as the premium motorcycles are concerned. So yeah, that's honestly what is brewing at Yamaha. They are basically, playing it safe. They are letting their business breathe a little bit because, like I said, it is a challenging position right now. A lot of Yamaha dealerships have also shut down because of the pandemic. So at the moment, it's all about sustaining the business for them. And once the conditions are favorable again, importing CBUs shouldn't be a problem at all. So if that is what you're referring to when you say premium motorcycles, I think those CBUs are still going to take some time.
All right, we'll take one last question here. Roshan wants to know, will Kia launch any new 7-seater MPV in the budget of 10 to 15 lakhs?
What, do you want to take that or should I answer that? Will Kia launch any new 7-seater MPVs in the budget 10 to 15 lakh rupees? Well, there were plans. Yes, Kia definitely had plans on for getting a more affordable MPV in the segment, considering that the Carnival, while it sold in small numbers, it was highly appreciated and continues to be one of a successful product for them in terms of the kind of value that it has offered customers and just how happy customers are with that product. I've driven it extensively and I've been quite happy. I mean, I'm absolutely amazed about what the Carnival can offer, and from those lessons, Kia is certainly looking at a smaller, more affordable MPV. Now, will it come in the 10 to 15 lakh rupee bracket or the sub 20 lakh bracket is yet to be seen, but there are plans on for something in that direction.
All right, but I think it's time then to announce the winners from this week's show.
All right. Yeah, we've got, I think, 4 or 5 winners this week. Quite a lot of questions, a lot of queries have come in and interesting questions as well. First one, of course, Akash Rana. Again, thank you for being on the show with us, and do keep coming back for the digital show every week on Fridays. But your question, EVs being touted as environmentally friendly, but what kind of impact study has been done for end-of-life cycles? Disposal of the battery packs, battery disposal in nasty business usually is one of the winning questions. We've got another winning question from Dilip Kumar Reddy. who asked me about if Mahindra is going to bring back the Aprilia G4 to India, and I'd like to know the reason behind renaming the XUV500 to the 700. That's one more. Rehmat Mustafa Podvachola. When could India get a sub 5 to 7 lakh electric hatchback? That's another question. That yes is the winning question for this week. Shashank, I'm not sure if you got if you won before, but your name sounds very familiar. But your question on why is Toyota not giving sunroof in all cars except Land Cruiser and Camry? I'm going to give you a year's subscription for that as well. And we've got Suraj Suprabhan. Why are manufacturers not adopting solid-state batteries in place of lithium-ion? I hope I answered the question reasonably, Suraj. Again, this is upcoming technology. It's being developed as of now. We will see some changes or some action in that space as well. But that's the query that will win you a year's subscription to the digital version of Overdrive. Keep in mind, again, the way situations have been over the last few weeks, the last month for that matter. It's been a tough time. We faced a lot of challenges simply because a lot of dealerships, most of the dealerships were closed, cars were not available to us. So stories, most of the stories that you will see around at this point in time, we've already done them way ahead last month itself. In fact, a lot of those stories have already been on the issue on the website, on television last month itself, and we kind of hit a wall because of our future thinking, because the way we are well planned, so far ahead of our time. We just didn't have enough of cars out in the market at this point in time to test and evaluate and get stories for you. So there are a few delays that will be there with the digital issue as well. But I do believe most of the people who have won in the past have received their digital issue subscriptions. There haven't been any queries about not having received them as of yet. There were one or two challenges, but I think even they would have received their issue by now. So expect the issues to come to you from the coming month in your hand. You should have those as soon as we are ready with production for those issues. Also, do send us your details, winners who we've just now steered. Do send us an email on digitalissue@overdrive.co.in, and we will respond to you and keep in touch with you so that you receive your subscription in time for the next year. There you go, guys.
I think that's about it, but since we've run out of our 1 hour slot.
Absolutely.
So I think we'll catch up with everyone next week.
Thank you for watching. It's Eid today. Go out, have some, have a fantastic meal with your families. Spend that time
Going out
together.
is not an option, but
going out is not an option. I'm not saying going out. Stay at home and enjoy the time that you have with your families. Just when you're busy working, get out, run away somewhere, focus on your work otherwise. But for everyone, have a great weekend as well. And just be aware there is still a pandemic raging around this country. Things are still bad. I hear things are getting worse down in the south of India, which has now been hit pretty badly. Bangalore, Karnataka, the parts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Things are really bad. Again, another message of condolence to all of those professionals in the automotive industry. Every week we keep getting news of more and more people who've passed away, lost family members, and our wishes, our condolence wishes go out to those people. May you get strength in this period and this time of suffering. Stay strong, and hopefully we'll see each other on the other side of this situation we find ourselves in. Stay safe, guys. Have a pleasant weekend.